I believe you might have been hearing about data analysis. Data analysis. I want to be a data analyst. I want to be a data analyst. Being a data analyst is not all this small data, right? It is for you to be able to analyze data. And data I'm talking about is large data sets. We call it data sets. Now, I'm going to explain. What I mean by large data sets, right? Large data sets. Now, what is data set? Whenever you hear the word data set, what comes to your mind, right? Now, data set is when data are arranged together. Yes, they form a set. So we call it data set. Now, this data have been arranged or this data have been collected. Oh, did I say arranged? Sorry. When data are collected together, well, could be organized. It depends on the kind of data. They form a what? A set. Now, this data could be collected over time, maybe like 10 years, 5 years, 6 years. So it could even be that same month, that same day. But of course, it's from large numbers of, from large people, right? From large platforms. Now, so when they are collected together, they form a set. So that set is now what we call data sets, right? Now, we are talking about large data. So we're talking about large data set that is very large. Maybe something like 10k. 10k is not even too large. 10k rows. Something like 500k rows, even 1 million rows. Although I don't think Excel can handle 1 million rows, but Python can do that. All right. Now, so just in case you have a very large amount of data sets, something like that. So how do we begin to analyze them? You understand? So that is where the concept of big data comes in. So big data are data that are very large amount of data. Yes. Big data are what? They are large amount of data set, right? Now, and you need to understand the different source of data, which I've explained before when we had our onboarding class. I think I did that. You need to also understand forms of data, right? Yes. Now, when we are talking about sources, we are talking about where can this data be gotten from. When we are talking about forms, we are talking about the format, right? The format of your data set. Now, for the sources of data, where can we get data set? Where are these data set gotten from? And they are grouped into primary source. We have the secondary source. Just a moment. And we also have the tertiary source. So we have the primary source of data collection. Now, where are they gotten from? Where are they collected from? Secondary source and tertiary source. Now, primary source, they are called first and data. First and. We call them first and. They are data that have not been tampered. They are gotten first and. Just like you create a form now and you share it in a platform. And you are telling people, please fill in your name. What's your name? What's your gender? What's your class? Now, these are direct. They are first and data. Then secondary source data are data that are like they've been worked on. Secondary source, right? They are not first and. Yes. Now, examples of first and data. We have data that are gotten from interview. Yes, interview. We have data gotten from web. Interview. Yes. Yes, there are data that are gotten from where interviews or platforms that yes, basically interviews. We could also have data that are from observations, right? Or experiments. Yes, data that are from observations or experiments. Yes, so those are examples of first and data. Yes, those are examples of first and data. So then we have second hand data. Second hand data is just, of course, they are not direct source, right? They are not direct source. They are not direct source, so they are not direct. They are not direct source of data, right? For the secondary source of data, they are pre-existing data that has been collected by someone else for a different purpose. And of course, we have examples of secondary source data such as government publications, books, journal articles, websites. So if I build a website now, and of course you are not the one that built the website, right? But you want to scrape out data from that website for personal purpose or whichever, or maybe published research work also from other organizations are examples of secondary source of data collection. Now I'm going to give us an assignment. The assignment is write extensively. Please, you can, Mr. Class Rep, you might want to help others with this, right? Write extensively the difference between primary source of data, secondary source of data, and tertiary source of data with examples, at least not less than 5 each. Write extensively the difference between the primary source of data, secondary source of data, tertiary source of data with practical examples, not less than 5 examples. So the class rep can quickly put that down so that he can share with others, right? Yes. Now, so we have the source. Now let's talk about the forms of data, right? We have collected this data. Of course, when you collect this data set, you store them. You store them in what we call data. We have data hub, right? We have data hub. We have data hub. We have data warehouse, right? Yes, we have data warehouse. We have data hub, data warehouse. We also have other platforms like where we store data, right? Now we also have some websites too that stores data. So examples of websites you can get large amount of data from include cargo.com. So this cargo.com is one of the websites you can get data set from. Yes, there are many of them though. Yes, there are many of them. You can get large amount of data set from. So another place you can get large amount of data set from is there's something we call FRED. FRED. Free, I think it's free resource economic data. Yes. So you can also get data from Google, right? Google data set search. You can also get data from data.gov. Yes, you can get data from google.com, from data.gov. Yes, but the major ones that we can get, the major places we can get data from are like from CAM we can get different type of data. Data.gov we can get data set from there, right? Google you can also get data from Google. Now we're going to be working with cargo.com tonight, right? Now let's talk about the formats, the different formats of your data. Now whenever you download data sets, right, they could be in different formats. All right. Yes. Now examples of such formats could be SQL. I'm going to tell you what the meaning of SQL is. SQL is a format. Then CSV is a format. Excel is a format. SQL is a format. CSV is a format. Excel is a format, right? We also have other ones too. Yes, other one like text, TXT, right? We also have MP4, we have